Hello students, welcome back to math class. We're going to start off work today by continuing our work with graphing straight lines that are associated with these equations. Before we start, let me say how impressed I am with how hard you all are working. You're getting things turned in on time. You're doing a great job. Keep up the great work. Let's start by reviewing some examples that are like the ones that we did the last time we were together. Here's what I know. If I have an equation with both an x and a y, and they're both to the first power, then when I graph the graph that goes with that equation, it's going to make a straight line. By choosing some x values and getting the y values that go with them and plotting them on a graph, we'll be able to see that straight line. Now I can choose any x values I like, but the x values that we chose the last time that worked very well were 0, 1, and 2. Let's use those values and see if we can see the line. I'm going to plug in the 2 first. When I plug in x equal 2 here, I have 2 times negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Now plug in the 1. I'm plugging in 1 for x. Plug in 1 for x. And 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. When I plug in 0, 0 times anything is 0. Let's plot those 3 points. 0, 0 is the origin. That's here. Now the x number is left and right. The y number is up and down. I want to go to x1, y4. Here's x1, left and right. Here's y4, up and down. I want to go 1 right, 4 down, negative 4. 1 right, 4 down. Here's 1 right and 4 down. In order to plot my last point, I need to go further down. When I go 2 right, I go 8 down. x2, y negative 8. x2, y negative 8. Those 3 points should line up. Let's label them. There's x2, y negative 8, x1, y negative 4, and the origin is 0, 0. Those line up nicely. Let's run a straight line through them. Great. When you do these on your homework, I want to see the graph and your XY chart. This graph will also be review. Let's let x be 0, 1, and 2. Remember, I can let x be any numbers I want, but 0, 1, and 2 have been very convenient to use for each problem so far. I'm going to plug in the 2. When I plug 2 in for x, plug 2 in here, I go 2 times 2 is 4, then 4 subtract 1 is 3. Now plug in x equal 1. If x is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. When I let x be 0 and plug it in here, 2 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Let's plot those 3 points. x0, y negative 1 means to go to 0 on the x-axis, negative 1 on the y-axis. 0 on the x-axis, but negative 1 on the y-axis. x1, y1 is 1 right, 1 up. 1 right, 1 up. When x is 2, y is 3. When x is 2, that's 2 to the right. Y is 3, that's 3 up. See how nicely those line up? If we do these right, Those 3 points should line up every time. For full credit, label your points. And just to make a point, what we said was we can choose any x values we like. I have consistently used 0, 1, and 2. Had we used x equal 3, let's see if that would also be on this line. If x is 3, and we plug it in, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. Does the point 3, 5 lie on our line? Now let's see. If I let x be 3, 1, 2, 3, and y 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. I can extend my line. When x is 3, y is 5. Choose any value you like for x, and when you plot it on this graph, it'll be somewhere along this path. All the problems we've done so far, 0, 1, and 2 for x, do a really nice job of showing the path. That's what you should use on all the ones so far. Here's a new example now. An example when the number in front of x is a fraction. When I graph this line, it'll still be a straight line. If x is to the first power and y is to the first power, it's going to be a straight line. But when I have a fraction here, it's no longer convenient to use 0, 1, and 2 as my x's. Instead, I'm going to take a look at that denominator, which is 3, and I'm going to skip count by 3's. Instead of 0, 1, and 2, I'll use 0, plus 3, plus 3. Watch why these numbers are so nice. I'm going to start with the 6. And if I plug a 6 in for x, what I have is 6 divided by 3, which is 2. I took that 6, plugged it in for x, and divided it by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now plug in the 3. When I plug in the 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Plug in 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. Let's plot those 3 points. 0, 0 is the origin. We'll put that right here. When x is 3, y is 1. X is 3, that's 3 to the right. Y is 1, that's 1 up. When x is 6, y is 2. That's 6 right and 2 up. Those 3 lines still line up very nicely. For full credit, we'll label and label and label. Here's one more example where the coefficient of x is a fraction. When this is a fraction, I don't use 0, 1, and 2. Let's remind ourselves what we did on the previous example. When this was a fraction and the denominator was 3, I counted by 3's. I went 0, plus 3 is 3, plus 3 is 6. For this example, where the denominator is 4, I'm going to count by 4's. I'll use 0, plus 4 is 4, plus 4 is 8. By using numbers that are multiples of 4, when I plug these in, I won't have any fractions. That's my goal. Now this one's a little tricky. Follow along. When I plug in 8 here, 8 divided by 4 is 2. This negative makes it negative 2. And negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Let's do that again. I plug in 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Let's plug in the 4. When I plug in 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1. This makes it a -1, and -1 plus 3 is 2. Let's do that again. Plugged in 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times -1 is -1. -1 plus 3 is 2. Plugging in the 0 is easy because 0 divided by anything is 0, and 0 plus 3 is just 3. Let's plot those 3 points. When x is 0, y is 3. That means don't go left and right. Just go 3 up. When x is 0, y is 3. When x is 4, y is 2. That's 4 to the right and 2 up. And when x is 8, y is 1. That's 8 right and 1 up. See how nicely those line up? Whoops, that's a terrible line. Let me label. Here's x0, y3, x4, y2, x8, y1. All right, that looks great. It's your turn. When you do these on your own, show me the graph, show me your XY chart, and label the points the way I'm labeling them here. All right, you go to work for a while, and I'll see you back here later on.